A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan.
In a dramatic turn of events, President Donald Trump has declared that the United States has launched an airstrike on three key nuclear sites in Iran. The speech was delivered live from the White House and has quickly dominated the news as it marks a major escalation in the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran.
Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror.
The president confirmed that U.S. military forces had successfully bombed Iran's nuclear facilities, including the notorious Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan sites. Trump's speech made it clear that the U.S. had been monitoring Iran's nuclear activities for years, and that this strike was a necessary response to Iran's continued attempts to advance its nuclear weapons capabilities.
Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
These attacks targeted some of Iran's most fortified and critical nuclear sites, with Fordow being the primary target. Fordow is located deep inside a mountain, making it one of the most secure facilities in Iran. The U.S. military used bunker-buster bombs, specifically designed to penetrate deep underground sites, to ensure that this facility would be neutralized. In his speech, Trump emphasized that the attack was a success and praised the U.S. military for executing the operation flawlessly.
For 40 years, Iran has been saying, "Death to America, death to Israel." They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani.
He declared that the U.S. had no intention of occupying Iran, but that the mission was necessary to ensure the safety of the American people and its allies. He pointed to the continued threats posed by Iran's nuclear ambitions.
I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so.
And said that the military action was a direct response to the regime's refusal to comply with international demands to halt its nuclear development. The president further warned Iran that if they did not cease their nuclear efforts and aggressive actions, the U.S. would not hesitate to take further action. He made it clear that this was not just about one mission, but a broader strategy to prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons and threatening the stability of the region. This is just the beginning, Trump said, highlighting that additional strikes could follow if Iran does not change its behavior.
I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal.
The announcement of these strikes has sent shockwaves around the world. Media outlets have been quick to cover the event, with breaking news reports detailing the U.S. military's operations and President Trump's address. The global community has been watching closely, as this escalation could lead to even more significant consequences. While many of the details of the operation remain classified, the main targets, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan, are well known to be vital parts of Iran's nuclear infrastructure. In Iran, the response has been swift and defiant. Iranian officials have condemned the U.S. for what they call an unprovoked act of aggression. The Iranian government has vowed to retaliate against the U.S., and there are concerns that this could trigger a wider regional conflict. The Iranian leadership has made it clear that they will not stand idly by and allow their nuclear program to be destroyed. Many believe that this could lead to an increase in tensions across the Middle East, as Iran may target U.S. interests or allies in the region in retaliation.
But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do.
At the same time, Israel has praised the U.S. action, calling it a critical step in curbing Iran's nuclear ambitions. Israel has long been one of the most vocal critics of Iran's nuclear program, fearing that a nuclear-armed Iran could pose a direct threat to its existence. The Israeli government has applauded President Trump for taking decisive action and taking steps to ensure that Iran's nuclear facilities are no longer operational. While this move has garnered support from some, others are deeply concerned about the long-term implications. Critics of the president's decision argue that this escalation could lead to a broader war in the Middle East, further destabilizing an already volatile region.
But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Military strike comes on the heels of mounting diplomatic pressure on Iran, which had refused to halt its nuclear program despite sanctions and international condemnation. By taking military action, the U.S. has opened the door to potential retaliation and an even greater conflict. For the American public, the reality of military action in Iran is a difficult pill to swallow. The possibility of American casualties and the broader geopolitical fallout are major concerns. Some citizens fear that this could lead to a prolonged conflict, which would be costly in both lives and resources. However, President Trump has assured the nation that the mission was successful, with no American losses reported. This has helped ease some concerns, but the situation remains tense, and the international community is watching closely to see how Iran responds. As the situation continues to unfold, there are questions about what comes next. Will Iran retaliate immediately, or will they seek to de-escalate the situation? Will the U.S. take additional military actions, or will there be a shift toward diplomacy?